Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. My name is Alysha DePerna, and I'm currently a full-time student at Monroe Community College. As a student, I've been able to witness firsthand the plethora of options and resources that MCC has to offer, but I've also been able to see what the school is lacking and what it could do to better attend to its large and diverse student body. I'd like you to picture yourself for a moment as an individual who both works and attends school in a society heavily focused on and influenced by technology, and specifically of that, computers. And you yourself are without the luxury of having your own to work on. This may initially appear somewhat of a non-issue, but being a student in a time where roughly 80% of homework and assignments are done entirely or with the aid of a computer, this can have a deeply negative impact. With MCC being one of the leading community colleges in the country right now with an obvious interest in the sake of its students, I want to discuss with you the school's current lack of technological resources, why a program like the one I've devised is needed, and the estimated positive outcomes a proposal like this could actually have. I want to begin today by talking a little bit about the current state of technological resources at MCC. The Brighton campus is composed of a handful of learning centers that house computers within them. Most of these learning centers are focused on a certain major or a subject where a student can go to use a computer for that specific focus. But there are even fewer places on campus where students can use computers for regular assignments, studying, homework. One of these places is the Electronic Learning Center. Now, housed within the ELC are 94 PCs. Currently, there are 17,573 undergraduates at MCC. 94 PCs is not nearly efficient enough. Along with the ELC, there's also the library, where you can actually borrow a laptop, but you can only take it out for a 2-hour increment of time and can only be used within the library itself. This isn't exactly a useful tool for a student body largely consisting of commuter students. Now, this obvious lack of electronic resources is more impactful than ever before, especially at a school like MCC that has a large focus on accessible learning options. Currently, there are over 100 classes available each semester covering a broad range of core subjects, but those who sign up for these classes are almost required to have their own computers, as getting work done is almost impossible without them. Not only online classes, however, have a strong focus on electronic-based work. As I mentioned previously before, over 80% of assignments in regular campus classes require computer use of some sort. Whether it be for research or writing a paper, a computer is almost 100% required at college in one way or another. MCC also consists of actual campus-based learning classes like TRS Math that actually use online program tools like the Pearson Math Lab, where students do their lessons, homework, quizzes, tests, all with the use of a computer. Having witnessed it myself, it is almost impossible to pass these classes without a personal computer, having seen many students either drop the class or fall really far behind without the ability to work on assignments at home. While it's almost assumed nowadays that to succeed in school you must own a computer, this is not necessarily, and rightly so, stopping those without them from attempting to get an education. But at a school like MCC, where over $14.9 million is awarded in grant-based aid each year, which happens to be drastically higher than the average for most other colleges and universities, the student body is obviously not one with extreme amounts of extra spending money. This, as well as the fact that MCC is one of the few community colleges that is gracious enough to actually offer dorm room housing to a number of students each semester. Yet, despite this, the dorms themselves only house approximately 772 students. Out of the some 17,000 undergraduate student body, this is a minuscule percentage. This is actually a great example of the amount of individuals who travel back and forth between school and home, limiting the amount of time they actually have to use the few computers that MCC has to offer. Despite these issues, there is a very easy solution to this current problem. After analyzing and researching the student body and MCC itself, I've come to the conclusion that the best solution for a situation like this is to implement what I've deemed the lending laptop program. This particular program that I've devised would not only affect one group of students, but essentially the entire student body, in turn breaching the economic barrier to school success. First and foremost, the program would run off of strict yet manageable guidelines. Due to the large amount of students who receive financial aid each year, the program basis would allow that any incoming student who is awarded at least $2,000 in need-based aid would automatically be allowed to take part in the program. We would also require, however, that before gaining access to the computer, a 1-hour training program would be taken by each student to learn how to properly care for the system. This will help with the longevity of the computers themselves, as well as the students being able to truly utilize every aspect of them as they can within their education. They will finally, once they have completed this, they'll sign a laptop agreement stating that the student is fully aware of the aforementioned guidelines and the proper handling and care will be taken with the device, or a fine will be implemented. Now, the product that we use would be affordable and quality assured. As such, I propose that to help keep costs even lower, the program be run off of refurbished computers distributed by a company that manufactures as well as reassembles recycled PCs. We would also still have all the software currently installed in the PCs housed in the ELC included on the laptops. The product company also offers a 4-year warranty with each computer and has a hotline available to answer tech questions specifically related to the computers themselves. This would also save on resources the school would normally have to supply. However, if a computer breaks beyond repair or is lost or stolen while in the trust of a student, a fine will be placed ranging from $50 to $500. As a student who wishes to purchase a new computer, they'll still be able to do so through the company at a discounted price. As far as costs go, because the computers will be purchased from a refurbished and discounted company, costs will be significantly lower. Roughly $400 for a refurbished computer that includes the price of software. We will be able to afford these by increasing the MCC technology fee from $250 to $425 a year, an increase in only $175. We would allow that the students eligible for the program who already have a computer of their own, they can opt out of receiving the device. The technology fee will still stay the same. We will also implement a process where when the student graduates, if they would like to keep the laptop and the program is installed on it, they can pay a cost of $200 to do so. This is exponentially more affordable than almost any laptop on the market, and it will allow school to maintain budget. The total cost for a program like this would be roughly $2.6 million. Though initially this may seem like an extreme amount of money, the beauty in a program such as this is that as incoming students take advantage of the computers, the school will almost immediately be making the cost back. This as well as income from the students who wish to keep the computers as they graduate. Now, many of you are probably asking why not just add more computers on campus. Well, to begin with, this would ultimately require the school to build new computer labs. To be able to house as many computers as a laptop program could disperse, this would include several large rooms that would ultimately cost the construction more than the program would itself. This cost, as well as the fact that desktop computers themselves can cost upwards of $200 more than laptops due to their extraneous parts. This supposed solution also wouldn't aid the commuter-based student body who are not on campus for lengthy periods of time. Where with the laptop program, they would have the freedom to take the computer home or to work and complete their assignments without any constraints. So I hope that you can see how a program like this is not only needed but necessary with the current lack of technology resources that MCC offers. Something such as the lending laptop program would allow students of all different facets and income brackets to learn at essentially the same level with the same resources. I also hope that I've explained thoroughly enough how this would ultimately be beneficial for not only current incoming students but generations to come. I want to thank you so much for your time and being here with me today, and if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
How long would this take?
Well, if we started relatively soon, not long at all, my projected timetable had us starting the beginning of July and finishing as early as the beginning of November, just in time for the upcoming spring semester. Anyone else?
Who's going to put this together?
I've personally spoken to the MCC student government, who themselves have volunteered their time to help with this. The individuals who run the student technology help desk have also volunteered their time and would be interested in getting involved. They actually have first-hand experience with the MCC network and would actually be able to aid in the training program aspect. Assisting these groups would be a team headed by the Director of Communications and Network Services. She has 11 years experience in this position where she manages computer and telecommunications equipment, financial planning, and much more. With all of these people on board and ready and willing to implement this program, we shouldn't have too much trouble getting it started. Anyone else? Okay then. Thanks again for your time and have a great rest of your day.